Moth number 6. We did it. We are there. We're going to do some satin stitch for the body. I like to start mine in the middle just to help me maintain a consistent stitch direction. I'm going to stop there. You get the idea. We're doing back stitch for the antenna. Maybe you fit 3 back stitches. I think I'm just going to do 2. And I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. We will need it again. I'm going to move to our off-white, and we're going to do stem stitch, fill in this little piece here. So I'm coming up here, going down here. I'm going to keep my thread above. Oops, I'm not going to pierce it. And I'm going to continue doing that. You could also keep your thread below, just keep it consistent, whichever way you decide to do it. I found it easier to fill in this stripe before we do the chained feather stitch, like whichever it is. I always have to look it up. So I'm going to try to just come right back down. The tricky thing is not undoing the last stitch, so try your best. If it doesn't work out, just start back at near the body and just do another row that way. I think you can fit like 3 rows. Maybe like a half row at the bottom, or a third row at the bottom, a third of a row. This is the first stem stitch we've done in this design. So, yeah, I guess guess just 3 rows because I'll have to start this row here. Well, that looks okay. If we want, we can do a little bit more. I'm going to start over here. Because it seems like it should be a tiny bit thicker. I'll just go down like this. Okay, that's good. All right, now I'm gonna move to this feathered chain stitch. So this guideline here is my center guideline. We're gonna start by coming up at the very tip corner here. Go back down there. And then we're gonna make, oops, I don't know what I have going on back here. Here. Just grabbing my other thread. All right, we're gonna make a detached chain stitch here. And I'm just gonna make like a little anchor stitch for it. And then we're just gonna continue to make those. And we're just gonna go back and forth, bouncing from side to side. So I'm gonna do top side first. Trying to come up on the guideline there. So these are pretty snug. They're gonna be like overlapping each other essentially. So you can see how much is overlapping, right? That's okay. So then on the right, do another one. I feel like I pulled that one too tight. I like this one, how it's a little bit more relaxed because it takes up more space. So we're just kind of bouncing back and forth to fill this shape. Not worrying too much about where the anchor is lining up because you're not going to be able to see them, right? So don't worry too much about those. And there's gonna be some of your fabric showing through here on this right side. I just left mine. If you don't like it, you can fill it in We're going to fill it in on the top side just because that's the edge of the petal. Or what are we doing? These are wings. All right, something like that. And then we'll take our red, or whatever we want to call this. We're just going to fill in this little piece with more of that stem stitch. And, you know, I have a full strand here, and that's because that's what I'm using for the woven wheel rose, and it was just kind of a convenience pick. If you don't like using such thick thread on this little piece here, you can always drop down to 3. For some reason, this is reminding me of striped toothpaste. Do they still have that toothpaste with the stripes in it? Yeah, whatever it takes to get kids to brush their teeth, right? Mine likes this strawberry flavored toothpaste. Ugh. It's so sweet. So his breath smells like candy, not minty, fresh, clean breath, you know? It's weird. But he's brushing his teeth. That's all that matters. If at the end you just need to make like a straight stitch to fill in anything, go for it. Alright, we're going to do our woven wheel here. We're not quite done with the top, but it makes sense at this point to just jump here to our little woven wheel roses. Looks pretty good. At the end of my roses, I usually like to do a couple stitches around the perimeter in case it needs any extra love. Round it out a little bit. Alright, so now we're going to jump back to this green we started with for the body. Let's see if I can grab that without grabbing every other color I have here. Okay, this one. So first I'm going to use it to fill in any little gaps I have up here. So you can come in and just do some straight stitches. That'll help round out that wing shape on the top. And if the little gaps on the other side bug you too, you can also use this color if you want to get in there. So something like this. Just optional. I actually think I prefer it without, but if you don't like those gaps, you can definitely fill them in. Okay, I'm going to jump down to here. I'm going to do a row of chain stitch. I'm basically just going to center it in those guidelines. Try to make them a consistent stitch length if you can. Make them look nice and lined up. I'm just pulling that out of the way there. Okay, so now what we can do the back stitch here to fill. So what I did is I did a back stitch outline around the flower, the rose here, to start, just because I wanted to make sure it was defined. And it looks like the way mine's working out is that all I'm going to be able to fit here is just the back stitch in between this chain stitch and the woven wheel rose. I won't need to go back in there and add any other more back stitch, but if you need to go in and fill, then please do. And then to fill the rest, I just kind of followed the shape. Let's see, let me go from over here. I'm just kind of like outlining everything, I guess. So the same on this side. Like so. And then might as well do one right there. Then I just kind of did the best I could, trying to follow along with this. It's not going to be perfect, so you're going to have to come in and fill in some spots with random straight stitches. Because it's an awkward shape and it's an awkward fill pattern. But by doing those outlines first, at least we have the shape defined. right, something like that. And then to finish, we're just gonna use that kind of green color, and we're gonna add these detached chain stitches to the bottom. Oops, I'm tangled. I think this is my favorite part. So now I'm looking at them. I wonder if we want to call them fly stitches. I mean, when I think of fly stitch, I think of like a wider base, but I don't know. Maybe it's fly stitches. Maybe it's detached chain stitches. Because if I go down just a tiny bit to the side and not in that same hole, I think I've turned it into a fly stitch. Here I'm actually doing a detached chain because I need to make this corner, right? We're kind of changing directions here. Cute. I love it. So they're either fly stitches with really, really skinny bases, or detached chain stitches with bad aim, right? And you don't make it quite in the same hole, just a tiny bit over to the side. Yay. That's it. I think what happened here? That one looks weird. I feel like I should have two there, but okay. I think we get the idea. All right. Have fun. Please email anytime with questions. I'm always happy to help.